The full extradition hearing of Wikileaks founder Julian Assange will go ahead next February.
A judge in London has declined a request by his lawyers to delay proceedings by 3 months. Laura Bundock has more.
It was a fairly short hearing today. We saw Julian Assange. He appeared in court. He was clean-shaven this time, sat there quietly. In fact, when he was asked to confirm his name and his date of birth, he paused, he hesitated, almost struggling to recall his date of birth to the court. His lawyers had argued that given the huge amounts of evidence gathering that is required in this case, they needed more time. They said it's been very difficult that Julian Assange hasn't been given access to a computer while at Belmarsh prison, that they've only just last week been able to hand over in person documents to him. Up until that point, they'd been sending them in the post, which was delaying things. They were arguing that they wanted extra time, but they haven't been given that. Now, the other lawyers in the court were arguing that this is a criminal case. It is not a journalistic issue, that Julian Assange is accused of one of the biggest compromises of classified information ever to have taken place, that he conspired with Chelsea Manning to compromise almost 4 complete databases in the US that involved data from both the Afghan, the Iraq wars, as well as several names of informants and 250,000 US State Department cables. So you get a sense of the huge amount of information, the huge amount of data that is involved in this case. At the end, we heard the judge ask Julian Assange, have you understood everything that has taken place today? And he said in a very softly spoken way, not really. He said to the court, I don't understand how it's equitable. He complained and said, I can't research anything, I can't access any of my writing, it's very difficult where I am to do anything. And he said that there are people here who have unlimited resources. Now, lawyers on behalf of Mr. Assange were talking about the difficulties with the huge amount of information. They also talked about a little bit of the detail about his case, saying that there was a fear he could be kidnapped and harmed, that there were people listening in on him while he was inside the Ecuadorian embassy for 7 years as well. Detail that we haven't heard, how hooded men had been breaking into offices, we heard. But anyway, Julian Assange now is on his way back to Belmarsh prison. As you can probably hear behind me, a loud and a vocal crowd of his protesters gathering outside to raise their concerns about this case. But as we say, the latest is that the hearing, the extradition hearing back to the US, is due to take place in February as it was timetabled for.